5:30 evening. We're at the Town Bath Municipal Center. We're in person in Lisa, YouTube. Can I have the roll call, please?
Scott Murphy,
Here.
Rick Weber.
Here.
Greg Warney. Rose Jackson. Absent. Elizabeth Skinner. Here. Chris Chapman.
Here.
And Susan Webster's here.
Okay, we have two sets of minutes for us to look at. I would take any additions or corrections to those minutes and common consent for both of them. So the first set of minutes, has everybody had a chance to look at them? Do they look okay?
Yep.
All right, common consent. All right. Now we got the second set of minutes for our special meeting that we had here a couple weeks ago, the 26th of July for the committee assignments. Take any additions or corrections if anybody sees anything that's not right on there, and if you've looked at it, is it okay, common consent? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, we have a few persons before council. We have Kate here this evening to speak with us. Kate, you have the floor.
Thank you. I have a handout for you. I'm here to represent the tree board and request to go forward with a grant application. Local volunteers conducted a boots on the street inventory of all the street trees in the town of Bath in 2014. Volunteers surveyed the trees in Greenway Cemetery in 2016. That work was a snapshot of the area surveyed, revealing the total number of trees, the variety of trees, the size, approximate age of trees, the health and overall condition of trees, the location of trees affected or potentially affected by overhead wires, and noting whether those wires are electric, cable, or telephone, the location of and ranking of trees that should be taken down immediately in the near future, or that can be saved with proper care, locations where new trees could be planted, as well as what types of trees would best thrive in these areas. Unfortunately, that survey became a snapshot frozen in time due to the administrative challenge of recording on paper the many changes that took place over the last 5 to 7 years. Thus, the tree board seeks to apply for a Division of Forestry grant of $12,000 to do an updated professional boots on the ground inventory and to buy software that will make it easier for the tree board to record the actions taken on the results. The software program allows us to create a moving picture, noting exactly when and where changes are made over time. If awarded the grant, arborists from GeoPlanet will do the inventory of the street trees in the town of Bath, probably Greenway Cemetery, and certainly the Old English Cemetery. In addition to the factors noted above, in this survey we will request that attention be paid to the location of invasive species of trees in this area. Professional arborists will also be able to assess disease in trees, something beyond the ability of volunteers. The cost of this boots on the ground work is $4,000. An additional $8,000 will be spent on the software that makes it easier to note exactly where and when trees are planted, trimmed, removed, hazardous situations develop, new trees are planted, and so on. The tree board and the town of Bath stand to benefit from this work in several ways. An up-to-date tree survey allows us to remove or treat hazardous trees before they fall and damage is done. Of course, under the right conditions, a perfectly healthy tree may fall down and be damaged, but that is a true act of God rather than negligence. The information provided by an up-to-date tree summary will allow the tree board and the town to budget for the care of trees, especially those that are a risk to public safety. There is often a significant amount of time between when a hazardous tree is reported and we're able to secure an estimate on the cost of trimming and removal, let alone having the tree removed. The tree board has been advised that flagging hazardous trees, putting a pink or red ribbon around them, presents a liability issue, especially if flagged trees fall and do damage before they can be trimmed or removed. This software program allows us to mark the exact location of hazardous trees and for the vendor to see the tree being referred to without flagging it. An updated tree inventory will clarify what trees are on town property and which are privately owned. Anyone with access to the software program, including the town clerk, can check to see who is responsible for the tree in question. An up-to-date survey helps the town to help itself in terms of climate change and flood control. Specifically, when compared to newly or recently planted trees, large old trees win hands down in terms of sequestering more carbon dioxide, capturing more rainfall, and absorbing excess moisture from the earth in times of excessive rainfall. The old trees in this town, in the 5-acre wooded lot south of the Greenway Cemetery, and in the Old English Cemetery, are of significant value to the town in terms of green stormwater management, especially given the large number of trees that will be taken down for the bypass. And finally, an up-to-date tree survey can help the tree board know what to plant where in an effort to improve the diversity of the town's trees, thus reducing the chance of existing trees becoming diseased or being forced to clear cut an area to remove diseased trees. It is important to note that the $8,000 software program is a one-time purchase and it's good for 3 years. When asked about what we do at the end of the 3-year period, representatives of the Division of Forestry noted that WVU is currently creating similar software programs that will be available at no or more affordable rates within the next 3 years. This grant requires a 50-50 match. Such a match does not require a cash payment on the part of the town or the tree board. The work already done by tree board members is valued by the state of West Virginia at least $22 an hour. And we charge like attorneys. We're there for 15 minutes, we charge an hour. Herb Petticord, the recently retired Chesapeake Bay forester, has volunteered to do a pro bono top-down assessment of trees in the 5-acre wooded lot at the south end of Greenway Cemetery, which will help to satisfy a large chunk of the match. It has been proposed that members of the tree board, master gardeners and master naturalists, and other volunteers do a boots-on-the-ground survey of the wooded lot of Greenway Cemetery and enter the results into the software program. This effort would also go a long way toward meeting the match, as well as protecting and enhancing the value of this important forest area. Are there questions?
Oh, yes. $8,000 for software program? Does that seem like, I don't know.
It's over 3 years.
With-
We pay one time. We don't pay over 3 years. I realize that can't be done. So it's a 3-year license, I guess. And then the Division of Forestry thinks we don't need to worry about maintaining the program or updating it.
I'd be a little stunned. I think that's a lot. I don't know, but, you know. And as far as the total, $12,000, half of that we could do in match, which includes in-kind labor, in-kind equipment rental.
Not for this. The in-kind would be, so for example, today, Andy and I went and looked at the trees in question on Brook Street. We were there for 15-20 minutes, that's $45. A member of the tree board probably is out doing that kind of work 3 times a month, sometimes more. I can't tell you how much time Andy has spent trying to figure out the situation on South Green Street, literally 20 hours. We keep a spreadsheet record of that, and when it comes time to do the match, there that is. The advantage of having professional arborists as opposed to volunteers, as I said, is better awareness of disease or problems that make the trees more vulnerable to fall.
So what you're asking us is to commit $6,000 to a $12,000.
Yes.
That would be, it would be in dollars.
Yes. Well, it's in-kind labor. Herb Petticourt's assessment is probably gonna be worth between $1,000 and $2,000. If you get 10 people doing the, and we would like to do that 5-acre lot, have professionals do that, but that makes it prohibitively expensive, far more than the state is offering us, in addition to forestry is offering us.
Well, speaking of the state, would this include the state park property
Um,
and things like that that could be included that they may be of help?
I'd have to ask. I believe that, I'd have to ask. I don't know.
And there's other state property in town, like the Fairfax Green. There are trees in that. You know, I don't know if there's in the north end lot. There are some
They
trees
charge-
along.
They charge per tree. And if there are very few trees, the cost is something like $10 a tree. If there are more trees, then it goes down. So that's why I need to look at the old survey in terms of Greenway Cemetery to see how many trees are there. Because if we can include Greenway, then we get more trees done for less money per tree.
I'm just looking at it dollar wise, and can we, you know, have the state come in and help, because they'll look at the state trees, you know, for the 12,000, or the town.
I don't particularly want to get involved in the state for this. I don't even, and even if they found things on state property, we can't do anything about it. The town of Bath Tree Board is only responsible for trees on town property.
Just on town. Okay, all right. I'm just trying to think, you know.
I have no worries about being able to meet the match,
Really?
none whatsoever.
How would you expect to do that? I mean, what would that?
Well, every time the tree board has a meeting, 5 members, $20, or let's say $23 per member for an hour, there's $100. So there's $1,200 right there. As I mentioned, when we go look at trees, our time is worth, Andy's and my time is worth whatever the state is offering. Lance's, as a tree steward, is worth $30 an hour. And
And let's say you take Rodney with you, and he's going to, and his crew helps, does that get to go against the match also?
I don't think it's worth Rodney's time. Rodney gets paid less than $20 and $22 an hour.
You know,
Really, I mean,
sometimes you do, I'm just
it's
trying to think of ways.
tree
really,
board
but
assessment.
by the time Herb's doing this is, I'd say $1,000 to $2,000. And if we have volunteers doing that 5-acre lot at $20 an hour, 10 volunteers, last time it took us a month. I'm not at all worried about
Even
that.
that gets you to- Okay. All right, that's just.
So what if you feel, what if it comes that the in-kind in itself won't meet the match? Do you foresee it coming back to the council and asking
No.
for support?
If the tree board doesn't meet the match, we'll ask the Watershed Association to have us give some of their in-kind hours. The Watershed Association is generally 5 to 6 times over our match. And we'd be happy to share that with the town. Because this helps the Watershed Association too. And the Watershed Association is very concerned about the number of trees removed for the bypass. And really, that's a bigger issue for the town of Bath than trees in town. And Bob Hanna, the head of the Division of Urban Forestry, and Sam Adams said as a personal favor, they will analyze the trees. They'll do a top-down from the sky analysis of the trees now and after the work is done. That gives the Watershed Association an idea of green stormwater management you can do.
Any other questions?
It's a 1-year grant, and I believe that, it's usually, if we apply for the grant, say in September, receive it in October, it's due, it has to be finished in October.
What are you asking of us this evening? Is this an intro or are you asking for a decision?
It is both an intro, and I feel that it's important that, the town, approve that we apply for this grant.
I would,
Ultimately, this is the town's responsibility. The tree board is a committee under the auspices of the council.
well, I would entertain a motion.
Kate, will they scrutinize what you are submitting in terms of hours that people put in? Will they scrutinize that? They just kind of look at your number and.
You also have to keep in mind, Kay Lehman is well known throughout the state for the grants that she's got for a wide variety of projects, so we know, she knows what she's doing.
I have to say that the foresters are begging us to do this. They have money that they want to spend. They were begging us to do this, and both Hannah and Sam Adams gave, I mean, this is relatively new technology and a new program for me. I was part of the On the Boots survey done in 14 and 16, but both of them helped me to write this presentation. And they were, you might as well have Sam Adams standing here. So they're very anxious for us to apply for this.
That'd be nice for the DAR, wouldn't it, Sam Adams was.
Okay, well, I would entertain a motion if somebody felt to make a motion.
So you're,
So moved. All right.
a second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to do this grant that Kate has brought before us tonight. Any discussion? All right, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving down the line, we have Chuck Hamp here tonight for the Vietnam Veterans Memorials. Chuck, you got the floor, buddy.
I won't take long. Reason I'm here, we're having our dedication for the monument on September 18th. And I was wondering if we could have traffic rerouted from Monster and Green Street from like 1:30 in the afternoon to maybe 4. So the reason being is we're gonna have to park on the other side of the street, and a lot of old people are gonna be coming.
Right.
And all the joking on that.
Problem is, we gotta get, you're gonna have to go to authorization to get the state to let us close that road down. We can't close Washington Street down, that's a state road, state highway. So you could, I don't even know who we would contact, probably the
Whoever the Chamber of Commerce contacts when they close the road down.
right, I
They
mean,
told us to come here.
They told us.
Well, they're
Well,
wrong.
yeah, the problem is we don't have any authority on a state highway like that to close it down. Now, if they give you a permit like we do for the parades and everything, they give us a permit, they give us a time allowed to have that roadway shut down.
Okay.
So I would probably check with, I don't know, I would probably start out at, State Highway Garage out there above, Dairy Queen and all, and see if they can help you out, because as long as you get that permit, I mean, we can do whatever needs to be done then. But we have to have, you guys have to have that permit to have the roadway shut down. That's, I mean, I have no problem shutting it down as long as they give us a permit, or rerouting traffic, or however we have to do it. That's a lot of trucks though and stuff to send down Mercer and
I was
Green.
just thinking.
So how long do you think the presentation's gonna, what'd you say, how many?
Well, it's gonna be started at 2:00,
Okay,
but I thought if you got people going around the other direction sooner than 2:00, it's gonna be a problem, because people are gonna start wanting to be there by 2:00.
Right. right.
That's why I said 1:30.
Um,
What day is this for?
That's
holy moly.
Yeah, that's the worst day of the week too, because of traffic. Um, like I said, I think I would go out to State Road Garage, or I don't think we have a contact number. Do you know if Danielle has a contact number for who she contacts for the parade?
I don't know if my husband.
All right, let me find out tomorrow. See
I
if
gotta meet
Danielle,
Tony tomorrow afternoon.
right, see if Danielle or Tony or one of them has a phone number that we call for the parade, for the Christmas parade. Maybe you guys can contact them, say, hey, this is what we want to do. I don't think the state will have a problem with it. I think they'll give you that permit. And then once that's done, then we can kind of figure out the logistics of how we're gonna do everything. Whether we're gonna,
And how come you have to close down 522 again?
for the
I
dedication
know,
of
but, so you're thinking people are gonna be in the road?
Well, there's gonna be parking behind BB&T Bank and up at CNT Bank,
Yeah.
and there's gonna be a lot of traffic coming through town, right? Well, one of them getting on it.
Well,
Specifically, they're gonna walk that flag over and present it as a monument.
Yeah. During the ceremony, the Tri-State Honor Guard is going to hold the flag and walk it across the street and lay it at the base of the monument. And we don't want anybody,
right.
yeah.
We're gonna walk across the street from there.
From the
Yeah.
park.
From where? Where are they gonna walk across the street?
From the park.
From the arch? From, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
Well, even if it could be,
Stop for
police
that
could
period
stop
of
it for
time.
that
For,
period
for,
of time.
yeah, for them to walk across.
right.
And you wouldn't need to go closing the whole road, which they really don't do with apple butter either.
Well,
They just kinda
they close
stop it
right. They stop it for a
for
period
the
of
parade,
time.
for the
For the
parade.
Right, for the parade. So I mean,
Well, there'll also be the 21, the 3 volleys, the guns going off.
right,
There'll also be taps being played all at the same time.
right.
So it's gonna be longer than somebody walking across.
Right, right, and I understand that. So, like I said, let's see if we can contact the state, see if we can get you a permit. We'll try to help you with that. See if we can get a permit to get that. And like I said, I have no problem. The state says they have no problem. Like I said, we just can't close that street down because it's a state road. We just can't. I mean, I don't have that authority to do that. Or I would definitely sit like a heartbeat. So let's see if we can get that in the next couple of days, see if we can get a contact with somebody. I'll try to give Danielle tomorrow morning real quick before I leave out to do anything. And just say, hey, we need to get a phone number so we can contact you.
So we'll have to be able to detour people coming both ways.
Yeah.
Route 9, like the Route 9s maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to detour them.
Yeah.
You want to have people there to detour
Right.
signs and stuff.
Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, because you're not gonna be able to have any of those big trucks going on the green, Mercer.
No,
them. That's not-
that's, yeah,
We just don't-
That will be a problem, I know.
yeah, it's gonna be,
Sit like they do with apple butter until you're done.
yeah. So,
So I would try to keep your permit period as short as you can conceivably get by.
I'm fine with it, sure.
How long do you think? You said starts at 2 till what?
You
One till
said
3?
1:30 to 4.
We don't really have an exact time because we have guest speakers. We don't know how long they're gonna be speaking.
right,
So we can't give you like
Explain to
2:30 to
people, you're
2:45.
closing down a major highway through town, and so.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna wanna know specific time, start and end.
yeah,
before they
they'll
grant that.
definitely, because I know when we put in for like the parade, we gotta say like 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock or 5:30, whatever. I mean, we gotta specify kind of a time. Maybe we can do something, I don't know.
You have an idea?
I was just wondering if, like out on the interstate road, that there would be a sign would say that the road through Berkeley Springs would be closed at a certain time. I know they put those big
Like the big boards. Yeah.
light up boards.
And we've done that, they've done that before for apple butter, like a couple days or
Put one up by 70 and
Right.
one at this end.
yeah, to just kind of warn people that we're gonna have it shut down. But we need to get the authorization to be able to do it before that. So let's see what we'll work together with you and see if we can achieve something to get that so we can make it work. I mean, it's very important, and it's very important on my mind, so we just gotta follow the proper channels, so let's see what we can do. And we'll go
That's
from
what
there.
I'm trying to do.
I know how you are, so. So, all right, so I'll get a hold of you tomorrow once I talk to Danielle and see if she can get me a number and we can maybe make some phone calls or something.
Well, like I said, I just found out a little while ago, I'm supposed to be coming to that tomorrow at 3 o'clock down there.
Okay.
We'll do something there by then.
Yeah, maybe we can, I'll try to be around to be here too and we'll go from there. All right,
All right.
thanks Chuck, appreciate it, buddy.
Y'all have a good
Thanks,
evening.
Linda.
Thank you.
See ya. All right, now we're down to communications of the mayor. Let's go ahead and formally do this proclamation. We had a photo op here a while ago, and we've got the little one here that was in it. So this is a proclamation for the
Constitution.
yeah, right. And it's I'll just read it as is. It says, whereas September 17th, 2021 marks the 233rd anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is fitting and proper to accordingly officially recognize to this magnification documents and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will accommodate the occasion. Whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of proclamations each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through the 21st as Constitutional Week. Now, therefore, we, by virtue of the authority vested in us as the town of Bath, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through the 21st as Constitutional Week, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideas of framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by virtually protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties, remembering that lost rights may never be regained. So,
September the 17th through 23rd.
Right.
Okay.
yeah, 17th. Did I say something other than that? Okay, 23rd. I'm so sorry. Apologize. I get ahead of myself sometimes. So anyway, and we went ahead and signed it. And it's taken care of. Had the pictures taken care of. We really appreciate you coming to our meeting and bringing this in. And we've got that. Can I give them a copy of this?
I think that's the original
This
one.
is the original. Okay. There you go. It's all yours.
We officially invite all of you to the Tea Party in Park, June 12th, 2021. Sharon has that information.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
22.
22.
Okay.
22.
That's coming up.
It's got a little ways to go.
Thanks for letting me know.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Sure.
All right, moving along, we have the 7-1-3U agreement, the resolution. Remember, this came before us last month. They come and talked to us. The conservation came and talked to us. So we have this resolution. We just, I think we read it the last time that we were here. It's resolution 2021-08-02. It's a resolution authorizing the agreement made between the town of Bath and the West Virginia Conservation Agency. So
I make a motion to approve.
any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? All right, motion passes.
Yeah, we did that last week. This is just to sign it.
Right. We just wanted to make it, So that there is that. Moving right along, don't have anything up for under, announcements of council. The Bath Development, they'll have a meeting tomorrow night, 4:30, via Zoom or in person. Parks and Recs, I saw that she had sent something, we have that, what was
Yeah,
the,
everything's okay, just to remind you, the,
yeah,
school bash on the 13th.
right. Okay, yeah, 13th, yeah. Planning Commission, which we really don't have any right now, we're gonna have to resurrect and try to bring that back. Rails and Trails, guess he didn't.
No,
do
he
that.
did send us an update that you have any packages and
Yeah.
everything that's going on in
Yeah.
Rails and Trails and Street Stateful.
So, yeah, council can read that and go from there. Streetscapes, same way.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
It keeps saying.
Okay, Train Depot, had any movement, so hopefully with the letters going out and everything, there'll be some movement. We'll get this thing all straightened out. Landmark Commission, on the holding pattern. All right, clerk and quarters report. Madam Clerk, do you have?
No, I don't have anything to do.
Madam Recorder, do you have anything?
No.
Okay. Finance, let's pay some bills.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, I've got the bills, but I wanted to say too, that I've been talking with the finance committee and Sharon also about setting up a workshop about the mechanics of finance in the town of Bath. I have someone new with Fred Forney, who wants to learn, and it can be very confusing, just all the accounts we have, the property we own, the different, banking we do, reconciliations, budget, what you see in the paper, what actually happens on the ground and how it comes to that. I can just think of a ton of things, and I know that he can think of more questions. So we're trying to put together a time to just sit and talk about the mechanics of financing. And when we set a time, I'll send it out to everybody. Anybody is, welcome to come, but it's
Right.
gonna be, I would imagine, unless you're interested, pretty dry stuff, but, what makes the town work financially, right? Your work isn't dry at all, but it can be thought of as that.
Right.
Some people, but anyway, we're kind of working on doing that.
Okay.
And we have those. And the town of Bath bills presented, and we did meet beforehand, which we're going to try to do, or at least have one member of the committee have eyes literally on these bills also with Sharon. Our intent is to help her with her work and not just be sitting here, and she does everything, and you'll see, do everything we can to help her with her work. But the town of Bath bills presented, and I'd like to make a motion that we approve $9,124.71.
Do I have a second? Okay, I have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the town of Bath bills in the amount of $9,124.71. Am I right? Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
The Berkeley Springs Water Works, I make a motion that we approve $3,483.14.
Somebody second that?
Yeah.
Okay. Got a motion and a second on the floor to pay the Berkeley Springs Water Works bills in the amount of $3,483.14. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Cemetery, make a motion we approve $1,585.
Second. Motion and a second on the floor to pay the Greenway Cemetery bills in the amount of $1,585.
And we have bills, for the rail trail project, make a motion that we approve $1,220.
Gotta go through this and get the, again, pass it. I don't. Right, 1,585.
Oh, I thought we
Yeah,
did that.
we didn't vote on it. Any
Well-
discussion? All those in favor?
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, well,
Opposed?
I'm moving right along.
Okay, moving right along. Go for it.
Okay, we have real trail bills, and I make a motion, that we, pay these bills in the amount of $1,220.61.
Have a motion second on the floor to pay the rail trail bills in the amount of $1,220.61. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.
I think that's all we've done so far this week, right?
Okay, all right. I have to go back here to our streetscapes. We did have a resolution 2021-08-01 for the state park agreement. We basically took care of this last time, but we just wanted to bring it up for consideration. So I
We
would
said we would do, or we
right, yeah, we
authorized.
would
Yeah,
right.
I think
So I
we-
just want to make sure that you know.
Okay, yeah.
If everybody's okay, we're fine with that then. All right, good deal. Thank you. Okay, tree board, we basically just had a report, and authorized to move forward on that grant. Grant committee,
Yes.
yes.
As far as good, I mean, with receiving this for the,
That looks like fun.
yes, this is for the historic landmark.
That's their report.
Yes,
Okay.
the resurvey expansion. We're reviewing we're gonna review this, so that way we can discuss it and get there's some money to the
Yeah, we got a bill.
Yeah, that's a
Bill.
bill for,
Did we ever hear from them or get anything from them?
That's what we provided. They provided us with the invoices and the hours supported. We've just got to pay the
Okay,
bill and come up with it.
yeah, so I need to get in touch with Ryan.
Right.
And get some details on the
Now,
fund.
the money owed on the bill that we received, is this an obligation of the town, of the community?
This is the historic landmark.
yeah,
And how did they
most,
just run their own checkbook? Who's
right, they got,
making the decision to pay their bills? Do they have a?
Ryan.
You gave them the authority to do
Right.
that. You've got a treasurer and you did have a
Yeah.
president and they were the ones that took over.
we authorized it last year when we did that before Gina passed away. So basically, it comes down to, with all their in kind and everything, you know, he's gonna have to do
$600 and some
$600 with all their in.
But they have a bank
But,
account.
and they've got a bank account, and I think it's reflecting that, so,
So
we
it
should,
should cost the town nothing.
yeah, hopefully. So we'll let our grant committee look at that, make sure that we're good to go, or even if you bring that back to us, if you can, next month or the next meeting, which would be the next meeting, would be 17th.
Is there a due date on the invoice before then?
It's probably way overdue right now.
I remember hearing about this months ago.
Yeah, so, and we'll go
Do
through
we
that.
know, Sharon?
It's in the paperwork
Yeah.
there. I don't know off the top of my head. Sorry.
So,
Do we have any of the grant documents, something that we should have on?
it's all right there.
No, but I mean, the actual
Oh, I
application.
thought that was all came in.
We should have application, we should have any contracts that they have within a professional.
Have that, get a lot of info on that.
That's just
Yeah,
like-
that'll help you.
That's what you send in for the grant reimbursement.
Right,
I'm
okay.
assuming it's a reimbursable grant and once you pay.
Yeah, I remember them coming to us last year with the authorized to go forward, so, go ahead and check on, Greg, and see what you can come up with, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. All right, public safety. Rose isn't here, nobody's here, so we'll move on. Cemetery,
Things are going fine. I'm glad that more people from the town council are actually going up to the cemetery to see how it looks. I think it looks, remarkably well. The grass is pretty dry like everywhere else, but they've been able to keep up with their work. They're actually gonna do a couple of extra projects for us under the 60 hours, so things are fine.
good. All right. Thank Beth.
Mm-hmm.
Public Works,
Hold on a minute, we just found Great Family invoice for $5,000 due 20 days after July 30th.
We're aware of that.
yeah, and that's part of the breakdown, so. All right, Public Works,
We talked with Rodney about the ARP monies that could become available depending on what we decide to allocate that for. 3 streets that he identified that aren't on our current list, looking at Pratt Street, would be about 8,000. St. George Street down here and Kent Street down here, probably a total of about $25,000. I told him not to hold his breath if he's gonna get $25,000 for additional pay, but we might be able to get 1 or 2 of these in.
Yeah, that would be good.
Once again, Ken is the one.
Yeah,
Where's
Yeah,
the
it's a
George?
half,
Where-
yeah.
where's-
That's gonna be-
St.
that
George is
one,
all
Kent
the way up
Street,
to top.
we allocated $12,000 just
It's
for
come
that.
down by the post office, not,
Oh,
not
okay.
Legion Street, but it's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Okay, I know where you're from.
So total
And Rodney is gonna call the
25.
paving company, so we can go ahead and get before summer's over, get Rockwell, Blackwood, and Legion Streets done. Once again, Legion Street is that one that is half hours and half states. And instead of the half being the top and the bottom, it's right down the middle, so there's no way to pave. We're gonna pave the whole thing. Then we'll send something to DOH to see if they're willing to split the cost of paving that road that we will have already done. I don't anticipate us getting a response or any contribution to our.
Yeah, we know that, but we know it's gotta be done, so.
And Rodney went down and picked up the eco blocks to build the salt stain.
The salt
Yeah.
containment? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna put concrete blocks.
I was telling Greg about our new brilliant tank for brine, which we can no longer get for brine.
Yeah.
Without driving to
It happens,
the other
but we
side.
still use it for other stuff,
I
so.
know, watering plant.
Yep. But, all right, we'll move on, ordinance, Susan, we're gonna let you finish up on what you have, and then
Okay,
we'll,
well,
you know, so, you know, I know we have this ordinance for the parking, I know,
let me see,
because we gotta go for the second reading on it.
Guess it's in here.
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we're second reading on this.
Okay, all right, the second reading on, yeah. That's minutes of something.
Here,
Oh, no, that is, it does look
That's
just like
another
it.
thing.
It's in
Okay.
there, though.
Got it?
It's in there somewhere, okay. Second reading of, Town of Bath amending Town of Bath Code 78-168, right and left parallel parking and angle parking. No vehicle shall be stopped or parked on a road or street with a vehicle facing in the direction other than the direction of travel on any road or street. The right tires must be within 18 inches of and parallel to the right curb or roadside. Any improper parking under this section will be considered a misdemeanor violation of Town Law 78-488 with a fine of $15 paid if paid within 30 days of offense. Any improper parking violation under this section that is not paid within 30 days will be fined $30 and the vehicle will be booted. The first reading was on July the 27th. And so I'd like to make a motion that we pass this for the second reading today on August the 3rd.
Second.
a motion and a second on the floor to amend Town of Bath Code 78-168, right and left parallel parking and angle parking. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. It is now legal.
I would like to say, as far as this and all kinds of parking in town, there are lots of violations. Where we do have an ordinance on storage of vehicles. We have vehicles on our streets that have been for months on blocks. And we need to do something about that too, because I can just see someone getting a ticket for this and they look across the street. But anyway, so.
Right,
we
we're gonna have
should
to work on that because there's some loopholes in that we've got to tighten up. Unfortunately,
Well, cars on blocks.
Well,
should be on public
I I agree, but there's certain other things behind there, and so we need to address that. That's one thing that we do need to talk to Tony and to, the public safety committee, so.
If they do
Yeah.
start enforcing this.
I understand.
people are gonna-
Yeah, absolutely, people will wanna know why the others listen to them.
Excuse me. Susan, does this match now the ticket?
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
So this-
Yes, it is
Word for
official,
word.
Okay, so,
it's official,
okay.
so we rescinded the other one and then we
Right,
did this
That's over.
one, so, okay,
In the meeting with the planning, well, I don't have anything more on that.
right,
You know,
yeah, I was gonna say, we
reported last time, so.
all right,
Right.
all right, let's go to waterworks then.
The water committee met yesterday. We were in attendance was Ron Martin from Morgan Wireless to discuss our tower lease agreement. That agreement took effect on January 6th, 2020. And it allows for, and it's for 2 years and then 5 additional 2-year extensions. And in order to put it on a track with each council basically deciding whether it'll make that extension or not, we decided to make the first extension instead of January 6th, 2022, start the first extension from July 1st, 2021. That would then go for 2 years, and then the next council will renew it after that period. So we're going to put together an addendum for the next council meeting. We'll want on the agenda an addendum to the approval of the addendum for presentation of the addendum to the water lease agreement to set the updated schedule and payment agreement with under that agreement. So we're just going to add an addendum. It's consistent with the terms of the current agreement that Dick Gay approved, helped us with, and this would just clarify this is how we're going to implement it going forward.
And I think you sent that out, didn't you? Or did-
Yeah.
Sarah,
She sent the
they sent
agreement.
whole-
Yeah, that's the agreement, and then we're going to have like a
That's
one-page
better to be
addendum.
unique and,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, do it along the terms because you don't want to encumber the future.
Yeah, council.
Council
And-
someday that you may not be able to do it.
Absolutely. So this will put it in line with that, and
With the elections.
Morgan Wireless is starting to do some work out at the tower. They've been paying their fees up to this point, but nothing's been really going on. But now they are looking at starting to get the installation of the equipment. They were doing looking at some electrical work and getting that installed by the end of September. So then the one other thing to note is we've been given notice of a couple resignations in the water department. One in the water office that took effect immediately, and one in the one of the plant operators that will take effect at the 1st of September. So we will be looking at going through the hiring process again for those positions. So just to make you aware of that, and then I think that's really all I have to touch bases on at this point. The water line replacement is at this point moving forward. Ron still is hopeful that we'll be able to go out to bid in early September and hopefully start the project by, if all goes well, by the end of September, 1st of October. So that's what we're shooting for. So
How many do you have so far?
How many?
that process is pretty much
It's
done.
It's done.
It's done. So it's just a matter of the final details with with Thrasher and then being able to them going out and starting the bid process. So we're close. So hopefully that will all kind of come to start seeing some real progress with that here in the next month or two. And I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else to raise at this point.
All right, on the meeting, is there anything else that needs to come before the council this evening? There isn't, I will entertain a common consent to, all right. I gotta run.
Chris, we were both wrong. And